In a heart-pounding clash that had fans on the edge of their seats, Wales narrowly defeated Japan 24-23 in the Autumn Nations Series. But the spotlight quickly shifted to the contentious officiating calls that sparked heated debates among players, coaches, and supporters alike. Imagine the tension at Principality Stadium in Cardiff on Saturday, November 22nd, with kickoff at 15:10 GMT. This match was part of the Autumn Nations Series, pitting Wales against Japan. Fans could follow the action through commentary on BBC Sounds, BBC Radio Wales, and BBC Radio Cymru, or via live text updates on BBC Sport Online. The drama truly unfolded when Wales head coach Steve Tandy publicly criticized the 20-minute red card given to wing Josh Adams during their encounter with Japan. Tandy described it as unnecessarily severe, a sentiment that many rugby enthusiasts might relate to when they see a player's fate hanging in the balance. For beginners wondering what went down, a clearout in rugby is when a player uses their arms or body to push away an opponent who's carrying the ball, often to prevent a tackle or free up space. In this case, Adams was penalized for what was deemed a dangerous clearout on Japan's wing Kippei Ishida. Right at the stroke of halftime, the incident started with English referee Matthew Carley issuing a yellow card, a standard warning for misconduct that sends a player to the sin bin for 10 minutes. But here's where it gets controversial. The decision was sent to the bunker for review, where Foul Play Review Process Officer, FRPO, Quinton Immelman upgraded it to a full 20-minute red card. This process involving video technology aims to ensure fairness, but it often stirs debate about whether on-field judgments are being second-guessed too aggressively. Tandy argued that while Adams put himself in a risky position, the punishment felt excessive. I think it's a harsh red, he said, emphasizing that teams need to avoid situations that invite such scrutiny from the TMO, television match official, which is the video referee system used in rugby to review plays. If you put yourself in a position like that, you're in the hands of the gods. We have to be better and not bring TMOs into play. Those are the things we can control. It's a reminder for newcomers to the sport that rugby's rules are evolving, with technology playing a bigger role in calls that can dramatically shift a game's momentum. Despite running a player short for much of the second half, Wales managed to hold on for victory, thanks to a last-second penalty from Jared Evans that sealed the 24-23 scoreline. It was a gritty display of resilience, showing how even with a disadvantage, smart play can turn the tide. And this is the part most people miss, the broader critique from Japan's head coach Eddie Jones, who echoed Tandy's frustrations and went further, accusing the game's officials of overzealous penalizing that could be destroying rugby spirit. Jones didn't just agree with Tandy on Adams' red card, he was outraged by yellow cards handed to his players Epinetti Uluviti, Folua Makisi, and Harry Hawkins for tackles deemed dangerous. It is almost farcical now, the sin bin situation, Jones declared, pointing out that these weren't deliberate acts of recklessness. He argued that rugby inherently involves physical contact, including around the head, and unless it's clearly reckless, such sanctions are unwarranted. We are absolutely ruining the game of rugby. I don't think any of the actions today were intentional and deserve to be sin-binned, Wales or us. We have to have a more sensible approach to the game. There are going to be contacts with the head. Unless it's reckless, which I didn't see any of those actions being reckless. I don't understand those sanctions. Of course we've got to have penalties, but it needs to be looked at. Jones called for World Rugby, the governing body of the sport, to intervene and reform these rules, highlighting how the imbalance created by cards, Japan down to 13 players at one point, Wales to 14, undermines the essence of rugby, which thrives on full teams battling it out. At one stage, we were down to 13 men. They get a red card, and they are down to 14 men. The game of rugby is about 15 players on the field, and I think World Rugby should be looking at this very closely. It is becoming absurd. It's a provocative stance that challenges whether player safety concerns are tipping the scales too far, potentially making the game less competitive and more about avoiding penalties than playing with flair. Japan had led multiple times during the match and came close to securing their first ever win in Wales, but couldn't capitalize. Yet, Jones couldn't resist a lighthearted dig at the Welsh Rugby Union, WRU, playfully suggesting fans demand refunds. If I was a fan, I would be asking the Welsh Rugby Union for my money back. But they can't afford it, so they are not going to give it back. It's a humorous jab that underscores the passion and banter in rugby, even amid serious debates. This match raises big questions about the future of rugby officiating. Is the emphasis on player welfare making the game overly cautious, or is it necessary to protect athletes from serious injuries? Do you side with Tandy and Jones on the need for leniency, or do you believe stricter calls deter dangerous play? Could a controversial counterpoint be that more cards actually make rugby safer and fairer, encouraging skillful rather than brute force? Share your opinions in the comments. Do you agree the rules are absurd, or is this the right path for the sport? We'd love to hear your take.